All right, I'm Stuart Mullen, Range Development Services, sharing another document with you here so you have understanding on what's coming with engagement. This is, as you can see, 400 plus line items that pertain directly to operations. So as we start this process of establishing a range and we're in the discovery and go working through the questionnaire and dealing with the budget, these are issues that I have in mind, but they'll be shared with you so that you can pour through and foresee, let's say, for example, retail, pick one of these. Who are the POS providers, point of sale systems? This is just a compilation of notes on those vendors and companies and links to them so that you don't have to go out and do a mountain of research on all of those vendors and all of these issues. There's one in here for, I'll see it, for credit card processing, Payrock, Laura Morgan. That's if you're in the firearms business or running any business and you need quality fees, you want low fees and great customer service, please call Laura Morgan or call me and I'll introduce you as an alternative to who you're currently using, and I have no doubt you'll be happy about it. But this is just a, like I say, comprehensive list of issues. Who are the distributors that you're going to have an opportunity to work with, and who are the shooting range equipment manufacturers? Again, everything's listed in one spot, so you don't have to go scouring the internet looking for, Google search, who are the ballistic equipment manufacturers, etc. So this serves as a guide. It's got some checklists in it. For example, the range check-in counter is a poorly understood, not accurately understood function from an architectural design perspective. And so I find that myself and owner operators, when it comes time to laying out the retail showroom and that customer map and the user experience for both, whether the guest is a first-time visitor or a long-time member, the processes involved in coming through that retail space and into the check-in to the range process and access to the range, enjoy their shooting time, and then exiting the range and the check-out process. They might have a rental gun. Well, there are multiple steps in the standard operating procedures that need to be mapped out that, if not, once you become operational, are going to be quite a startling surprise. So there are efficiencies for the customer, as I've mentioned, but then the opposing side of that is how optimized is that space and your millwork and displays going to accommodate the needs of staff to provide that customer service so that it's quick and smooth and painless and straightforward and simple and offers very little confusion for those enjoying their range time. So again, comprehensive list. This document changes, I would say, at least weekly with additional information or insights or considerations, and it just becomes a very valuable tool that minimizes, or at least reduces, doesn't minimize, reduces the steepness of the learning curve for those that are not already in the range business. If you're already in FFL, home-based, or in brick and mortar, there's still going to be a lot to learn as you head towards grand opening of a full-fledged range facility. So just want to share that insight and give you some perspective on what engaging range development services offers you from a value perspective. One other item worth mentioning, I'll just pop this open here on the equipment manufacturers. Consistently, I have folks call for kind of that introductory call and characterize our conversation as one of many that they're having, and that's fine. I get it. I I would challenge you to look more closely at my scope of services and my level of involvement. There are quote unquote consultants out there who, from my perspective, are set up so that you call them when you think you need them, and once you reach a hurdle or a benchmark, then you call them for the next bit of insight or recommendations or strategies or documents that are available. My approach is very different intentionally. So I honestly, because of my unique background as a city planner and then commercial real estate fee developer, I set out early in my efforts in this gun range niche to be involved from start to finish and not just call me when you think you need me sort of mentality. And it's worked really well for me. I think there are a group of folks that don't have interest in that kind of level of involvement, but I just made the decision, hey, if I were in the shoes of the folks that I think I want to work with from a mindset perspective, then it's people who see that they're about to make a multi-million-dollar investment and acknowledge there are things that they don't know that they do not know. You can't know the things you don't know. And so my ability, because of my just knowledge and experience, enables me to see and consider and factor in issues and implications when a GC says, we're going to do the following 3 things. I can ask questions and challenge and push back and give insight on how I've seen it done maybe differently. And most of the time it's pretty well received, or we just are able to verify that, yeah, that's the right path, or we need to redirect. And that's, I'll just say it's probably a 50-50 give and take, because most GCs and architects, even those that might have been involved in a range at some point along the way, just don't have, multiple ranges under their belt in terms of experience. And so they lack the insight. And so my point here is simply, if there is an effort to make a comparison or shop my services against somebody else's, it might be that there's either a failure on my part to communicate or just a lack of understanding truly of how unique my services are relative to anybody else that's out there. I'm less of a consultant, although technically I suppose that's the right terminology, and more of a fee developer. That comes, I won't get into the details, but that's a term that is common and is an everyday part of commercial real estate. But a fee developer is really going to be handling and managing this process proactively. And the reason for all of this is simply, range owners, or soon to be range owners, hopeful range owners, do you want to figure out how to efficiently and shrewdly go through this process and de-risk the process? Or do you want to just simply hire someone, me, that knows how to do those things? I think for most of the folks that engage me, their objective is to own and operate a range, not get good at establishing ranges. They might go on to establish more ranges, but your time and resources are going to be demanded when it comes in the final months of construction, and you need to absolutely be sold out focused on brand, staffing, training, completing your standard operating procedures that need to be customized to your range facility, buying inventory, marketing, pre-selling memberships, just to name a few. I mean, never mind the additional, list of vendors that are going to be involved in completing their work, design and their work. There's just a lot going on. And so the more you can take off of your table and focus more on operations, the better, I guarantee you. Because otherwise you're going to be handed a building when it's done. You're going to get your certificate of occupancy. And if you're not ready, and if haven't been preparing for weeks and months leading up to it, then you're going to be staring down the barrel of a mortgage payment that and you're not generating revenue, and you want to hit the ground running when that facility is capable of being open for business. And what I've outlined here in terms of my involvement and my scope, I think better achieves that opportunity than just kind of a hired gun consultant to pop in. A couple of other notes I think that are important is I have absolutely zero allegiance, overtly or covertly, with any vendor anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. I've had several that have approached me. There have been conversations about an alliance and or being compensated when deals that I'm involved with go the way of a certain equipment manufacturer, and that does not happen. Absolutely doesn't exist. And the reason for that is I want to be able to say at the end of every day, my fiduciary responsibility is to the owner operator, not to, a slice on a, commission on selling some equipment somewhere. That's an important and distinguishing feature of my involvement in deals, because I believe that is not the case across the board with other folks who are involved in quote unquote consulting. It's just a unique position that I've taken, and don't want a part of it because I don't think it is helpful, honestly. And it's in part why, if you've already reached out to some of these equipment manufacturers, they might not have mentioned my name. They don't appreciate the process that they have to go through on my deals. Some of them do. At least the salesmen don't necessarily, but the project managers do. And what I mean by that is it's a harder sales process because they know that when I'm involved, it's going to be a competitive situation. Whereas once the deal is signed, then the project managers know that I understand and work through these checklists that I've covered in other videos, that it's going to be a much better coordinated among the ownership group, the GC, and the equipment manufacturers, that there's a degree of relief and assurance that everybody's communicating with a higher degree of accuracy and certainty, and we're uncovering as many potential issues before construction begins, installation begins, and even during construction when issues arise. I'm able to kind of pull myself out of the emotion of, man, we got to get open. This is a panic situation, and really able to focus on best solutions and resolve issues in a way that's unique and powerful, and again, to the benefit of owner operators. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in.